everyone. So what I would like to talk about are basically, it's about female empowerment. So I'd like to talk to you all about my 2 female qualities, which I discovered. As my announcer said so very nicely, I studied to be an engineer. I'm an industrial engineer by study, education. But when I started that study, I found myself surrounded, well, by men, mostly, especially in the Netherlands. I think abroad it might be different, but well, only men there. I did the most feminine study that was there at the Technical University of Eindhoven at the time, which was Industrial Engineering and Management Science. So, there were women there, like 15%, which was quite high, because at the Technical University in general, at that time, it was 2%, and only 1% of those women were actually recognizable as such. Yeah? So imagine, me being there, trying to grow up to become this big female engineer, when I finish study. I didn't really have any example of how to treat my femininity in this context. But hey, I'm smart, I'm an engineer, I can figure it out. So after my studies, I went to work. I started out, I wanted to become, a manager or a team leader in a very technical environment, because that sounded really cool. So I started at a very technical company, and then another technical company, and then another technical company. Basically, again, I found myself totally surrounded by men. I worked at departments of more than 100, 200 people, employees, and the only females there were the secretaries and the people who cleaned the toilets. But alongside that, just men, only men. So I looked around and I thought, okay, I'm ambitious, I'm feminine, I want to be successful. How am I going to do this? I don't really know, I don't see anyone around me. Well, let's see what is success. So I kind of started to really make sure I dressed okay, right? Because I don't want the boys to get overly excited, you know what I mean? Yeah, I wanted them to treat me as a serious individual, right? So I was really, really making sure there was not a lot of cleavage. I was making sure my length of my skirt was here, making sure the colors I wore were not bright, because, I already stuck out so much, because I was, the one woman who wasn't cleaning the toilets. So I kind of, had to copy them, I guess. So I started copying them. And then I thought, hey, this is working. I was successful. I got promoted. I got promoted again. They said, wow, it's really cool. You're a woman, but you're actually acting like one of us, and we like it. So I got another promotion. So it went quite well. After a while, I was, leading, as a project leader, leading some complex projects. And then I thought, well, let's go abroad, because what I can do here, I can do anywhere, and that's good for my resume. So, okay. So, with this in mind, I went to Colombia. Are there any Latin people here tonight? In the back, I see one hand. I see another hand. I see 2 people who are Latin. I went to Colombia. I was in shock. I was in shock. The women, they were, well, beautiful, of course, because, well, hello, they're Latin women. I mean, come on. They were beautiful. They had absolutely nothing like this on, because, come on, how can I show the qualities I have, right? They had, like, nice cleavage showing. They went to the hairdresser every morning to have everything, blow dried. They had the painted fingernails in bright colors. They wore lovely dresses. They were super feminine and super sexy, not only in the way they dressed, but also in the way they behaved. They were playing with the men. And what I saw was they were actually being treated, not like they were sluts, but they were being treated with a lot of respect by the Latin guys. So it happened to me that one morning, you know, when I'm in Holland and I go to the hairdresser and I change the color of my hair from blonde to black and I like cut it when it's length like this and then I cut it up to here, I think maybe one guy will say something about it, especially in this technical environment. Only one guy maybe. Did you do something different? Have you got glass? Oh no, not glasses. You know, they wouldn't even recognize that I cut my hair to change the color. But in Colombia, I went to the hairdresser, I had like this cut off from my hair. Seriously, this seriously happened. I'm not exaggerating. This I cut off. The day after I went to work, I moved inside the office. And the first thing was, "Ooh, you look nice. Oh, your hair is so beautiful. What did you do?" Oh, I was saying, "Oh, okay." Yeah, well, thank you. Nice, okay, thank you. But okay, so it needed to get getting used to. But I noticed that because they were feminine, because they were able to embrace this softness, the joy also of being soft and making fun, making jokes, playing with the men, you know, playing with each other, that there was a totally different atmosphere at work. And then I thought, well, this is different and quite fun, but this would never work in the Netherlands because the guys in the Netherlands, no. If I behave like that, if I show my softness more, if I, you know, embrace my own feminine qualities more, no way I'm gonna get promoted. No way, you know, they're only gonna see me as a piece of ass, I thought. But then my male colleagues also, from time to time, came to Colombia for business meetings. And what I saw with these Dutch colleagues is that when I used to talk to them in the Netherlands, they were very, as I say, square, right? They were very on the facts and the figures, and we have to talk about the project progress, and that was what we were doing. And I thought it was boring, and yeah, very on the content. But even those guys that were totally focused on the content part, when they were confronted with these Latin women, even they started to play. They started to play. And it was not diminishing or in any way. It was more like they were celebrating the feminine qualities that were actually shown and used, and the softness. The communication in meetings was totally different. There was room for playing with each other. There was room for creativity. There was room for making jokes, you know? So what did I learn in Colombia? You know, I have 2 female qualities. It's not only my mind with the rational, analytical side, but it's also the soft, human side, you know? And because I'm a woman, it's great to take it with me when I actually go to work. It was such a waste that it was left somewhere on my bedside table, you know? Because while doing that, I was ignoring a super important part of myself. So when I think now about female empowerment, for me, it's not about empowering the women. It's not. It's about empowering the female side of men by showing them, by teasing them, by playing with them as a woman. Thank you.